morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Voting begins for by-elections in Ilam Constituency 2 and Bajhang 1. Enthused voters begin exercising their franchise early on. Investigation into Terramox deal delayed due to alleged involvement of high-profile individuals, including the Chief Secretary. Questions raised on the authorities' intention. The UN says the vast amount of rubble, including unexploded bombs left by Israel's devastating war in the Gaza Strip, could take about 14 years to remove. And the 2020 series between Nepal and West Indies A kicks off today. Visitors expect a tough challenge from host Nepal. The match to kick off at 12:15 p.m. Nepal time. Voting has begun in Ilam Constituency number 2 for a vacant seat at the House of Representatives and Bajhang Constituency 1 for Provincial Assembly seat. The by-election kicked off at 7 a.m. this morning. According to Chief Election Officer of Ilam, Keshav Prasad Kimire, enthused voters had been flocking to voting centres to exercise their franchise. 42 wards in Ilam Constituency 2 are voting today, with 79 voting stations and 149 voting centres. 745 officials have been deployed by the election there. 115,889 voters are eligible in the region, out of which 422 are first-time voters. The Election Commission has said adequate voting materials have been sent to each of the 2 constituencies. Ghimire also added the security provisions have been well managed to ensure voters can cast their ballots safely and without fear, and later on for the ballots to be safely taken to the counting centres. Separate lines have been allocated based on gender of the voters. Nepal Army Air Service has also been readied if needed. 19 candidates are in the fray for Ilam by-elections. Voting has also begun in Bajhang Constituency 1 for 1 provincial assembly seat. 74 voting stations have been opened with 93 voting centres. Voters have been flocking, according to Information Officer of the Chief Election Office Bajhang, Prakash Singh. More than 1,500 security personnel have been deployed for the election security there. 23 of the voting centres in Bajhang are considered extra sensitive from security perspective. Ballot boxes from Kada of Saipal Rural Municipality along with Dhuli and Nuna will be airlifted to counting centres, while those from other locations will be taken by road. 11 candidates are in the fray from the constituency. The provincial assembly seat had been vacant since Nepali Congress member Prithvi Bahadur Singh passed away in a road accident. There are 61,748 voters in Bajhang Constituency 1. The voting will take place till 5 this evening. Candidates in the fray for the House of Representatives seat from Ilam 2 and Provincial Assembly seat from Bajhang 1 have cast their ballots. CPN-UMO's Pik Suhang Nemwang, Congress's Dambar Khadka, Rashtra Swatantra Party's Milan Limbu and independent candidate Dekendra Singh Thegim have cast their ballot. CPN-UMO's Nemwang cast his ballot from Ilam's Mahendra Ratna multiple campus. Congress's Khadka voted from the same voting centre. RSP's Milan Limbu voted from Jana Kalyan Primary School in Mangsebung 2, Dahagaon. Likewise, independent candidate Dekendra Singh Thegim voted from Fakfoktum Rural Municipality. 19 candidates are in the fray from Ilam Constituency 2. Now, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked in several provinces, why has the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority dilly-dallied in concluding the investigations into large-scale corruption cases? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
ठुला दलहरुका नेताहरु नै त्यस्ता ठुला अख्तियारका ठुला घटनाहरुमा जोडिएका कारण
ठुला माछा साना माछा सबै मिलेर चाहिँ यिनीहरु मिलिमतोले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यिनीहरुले ढिलो गरेको
अख्तियारको चाहिँ नि हाकिम आयुक्त चाहिँ नि नियुक्ति हुन्छ नि यसमा चाहिँ नि राजनीतिक चाहिँ नि व्यक्तित्व चाहिँ नि नियुक्ति भएको भएर यो भ्रष्टाचारमा चाहिँ नि भ्रष्टाचारको विषयमा चाहिँ काम कारबाहीहरु चाहिँ नि अलिकति ढिलासुस्ती भएको जस्तो लाग्छ
धेरै मुद्दाहरु पर्ने भएको कारण एउटा पनि हो
अख्तियारले ढिलो गरेको कारण पहिलेदेखिको बिग्रेको मामला हो यो
अख्तियार प्राप्त निकाय नै राजनीतिक दलको भागबन्डामा चाहिँ नियुक्ति हुने भएको कारणले
ठुला फाइलहरुमा चाहिँ ठुलै अध्ययन गर्नुपर्ने भएर हो कि
ठुला नेताहरु कहलिएका नेताको माथिल्लो स्तरमा पुगेका नेताहरु नै भ्रष्टाचारी भएको हुनाले यो ढिलासुस्ती नटुकिएको
मिलेमतोमा भएर प्रधानमन्त्रीदेखि लिएर नत्र भने अख्तियारले गर्दाखेरि तुरुन्तै गर्न सक्छौँ।
अख्तियार पनि कतै राजनीतिक रूपबाट सारमा भन्दा राजनीतिक प्रभावबाट बाहिर जान सकेन।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you term each Minister for Home Affairs trying to abuse the police administration? Your options are A, wrong intention, B, poor police leadership, and C, hiding weak spots. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Mountain expeditions have marked 74 years in Nepal. French national Maurice Herzog became the first climber to reach the top of Annapurna First, 10th highest mountain in the world at 8,091 meters above the sea level. Because of its complex and challenging geographic location, Annapurna First is also known as the Killer Mountain. After K2 of Pakistan, higher number of deaths of mountaineers has been recorded at Annapurna First. Several parts of Annapurna First are considered more challenging than that of K2. Hence, Annapurna First holds a unique significance in the mountaineering sector. Of the 13 mountains in the 55-kilometer-long Annapurna range, Annapurna First is the highest mountain. Among the 13 mountains measuring above 7,000 meters in the range, Annapurna First is the 10th highest mountain of the world. It is also the first mountain of Nepal which was climbed by mountaineers. French national Maurice Herzog, who had arrived Nepal with 250 helpers back in 1950, was the first climber to reach the top of Annapurna First. Despite being the most challenging mountain of the world, the local residents have shared their grievances regarding the government indifferent in its promotion.
सबभन्दा दुःखको कुरा के छ भने त्यो ठाउँलाई कन्या मार्ग भनेर भनिन्छ। अहिलेसम्म होटल व्यवसाय त्यहाँ बसेको पनि छैन। त्यहाँ ठाउँ-ठाउँमा हामी पोटरहरू बस्ने घरहरू बनाएका छौं, जहाँ नै पर्यटकहरूले आफ्नै खाना पानी अनि ओट्ने ओछ्याउने आफै लिएर जानुपर्छ। त्यस्तो मार्गका रूपमा त्यो रहेको छ र त्यो मार्गलाई अझ व्यवस्थित गर्नको लागि केन्द्र सरकार, प्रदेश, स्थानीय सरकारले विशेष ध्यान दिनु जरुरी छ।
Nepali nationals reached the top of Annapurna First 27 years after Herzog had stepped at its apex. After returning from the top of Annapurna First, Herzog was appointed the Minister for Youth and Sports of France. He visited Nepal 30 times and actively contributed in the promotion of the mountain. More than 400 mountaineers have reached the top of Annapurna First in the 74 years of mountaineering history. As beautiful as the mountain is, it is equally challenging for expeditions. Risks of avalanches are higher in the north face of the mountain. A total of 39 mountaineers who had left for their expedition had died in the storm of 2014. Based on the data, the death rate at this challenging mountain stands at 32 per 100 mountaineers.
धेरै avalanche आउने ठाउँ, avalanche risks हुने mountain, अनि rockfall, अनि crevasse. त्यो तीनटाबाट चाहिँ हामी maximum जोगिनु पर्दो रहेछ यो mountain मा.
Because of complicated geographic structure, the number of tourists is higher in the Annapurna region for trekking in comparison to mountaineering purpose. Those preferring trekking explore 3 routes: Jomsom Trek, Annapurna Base Camp Trek, and Annapurna Circuit. The vast amount of rubble, including unexploded bombs left by Israel's devastating war in the Gaza Strip, could take about 14 years to remove. Senior officer at the United Nations Mine Action Service, Lord Hammer, said during a briefing in Geneva, Israel's military campaign against Gaza's ruling Palestinian Islamist group Hamas has reduced much of the narrow coastal territory of 2.3 million people to a wasteland, with most civilians homeless, hungry, and at risk of disease. Lord Hammer added that the war had left an estimated 37 million tons of debris in the widely urbanized, densely populated territory. He added that although it was impossible to determine the exact number of unexploded ordnance found in Gaza, it was projected that it could take 14 years under certain conditions to clear debris, including rubble from destroyed buildings. According to Gaza's health ministry, more than 34,000 Palestinians have been killed and 77,293 wounded in Israel's military offensive on Gaza since October 7. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing as he wrapped up his visit in China yesterday. During the meeting, Xi reiterated Beijing's concerns that the United States was suppressing its economic development, adding that the world is big enough to accommodate both U.S. and Chinese development. Xi said China and the U.S. should be partners rather than rivals, help each other succeed rather than hurt each other, seek common ground and resolve differences rather than engage in vicious competition, and honor words with actions rather than say one thing but do the opposite. Blinken raised concerns about China's support for Russia's military, one of the many issues threatening to sour the recent improvement in relations between the world's biggest economies. Blinken's trip was met with little progress on a raft of contentious issues. Instead, both the sides focused on pragmatic issues like people-to-people exchanges, artificial intelligence, and the U.S. push for progress on the curbing of China's supply of the chemicals used to make fentanyl. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.